You are now listening to the Going North podcast with your host, author and speaker, Dom Brightman. And every Monday and Thursday, you're going to hear the voice of a different author share their stories, expertise, and their struggles that they had to overcome in life to leave you inspired to get more out of your life. Be sure to not only listen to this episode, but share with others, connect with the authors, and always advance others to advance yourself. Now let's get on with the show.
So Happy and Grateful, written by Antonio T. Smith Jr., is life-changing. We are an unhappy people and we make unhappy decisions. But he teaches us that if we take on the responsibility of our happiness, if we look at happiness and gratitude as our duty, as our responsibility, as our birthright, we can't help but to have a prosperous life. Go buy So Happy and Grateful by Antonio T. Smith Jr. You won't be disappointed.
And today on the Going North podcast, it's Women's History Month, baby! Yeah! And we got another superstar chick on the show, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And the beautiful thing is, this guest right here, she has become like one of my favorite people on social media this year. Because man, oh man, we haven't had an HR professional who's also a network marketer since Kirsten Alva last year on the Going North podcast wrote that wonderful book Beyond the Job Description. But this wonderful lady right here, she's written multiple books, and she teaches you how to defeat the drama and overcome the odds and make a success out of yourself. This wonderful person is the undisputed expert on how to move from resigned, resentful, and overwhelmed to focused, engaged, and empowered. And that acronym is FEE. And she's going to charge you a nice fee, because you're going to get the best stuff ever. And you're probably wondering who this wonderful person is. It's the one and only KRV herself, Kirsten Ross Vogel. How are you today, ma'am?
Hey, I'm really great. I'm having an awesome day. The sun's out, and I'm going to make it an amazing day. And I'm excited to be here.
Oh, yeah, sun's out, guns out, woohoo! Yeah, only at the firing range, though, only at the firing range. Don't do that to regular civilians. Let me stop it.
Remember, I said I was asking you to behave, you know.
I'm sure there's some bees around here somewhere. I mean, there might be a haven around, too. You never know. Yeah. Yeah, dad joke number one in. All right, good.
Yeah, beehive, behave, is that what's going on there? Yes.
Oh, yes, ma'am, indeed. Yeah, so as with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 70 years long, so mind filling in some gaps where I may have missed some things.
I do defeat the drama. I actually trademarked that term a few years ago. Defeat the drama in life and in work, because drama zaps energy and steals focus, and I'm all about focusing on what we choose to make our powerful impact in the world. So, yes, I defeat the drama, and I provide strategies to help do that through my individual coaching. I work with business leaders and teams on my podcast and in my book and my teaching. So, yeah, few little activities to. I'm on a mission though to defeat drama.
Oh, there we go. And that's what we're going to need nowadays, especially in the land of reality TV, social media.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, don't even get me started. Yeah, the divisiveness and the drama that happens there in both those spots. No time for that.
Oh, yes, indeed. So what inspired you to help folks defeat the drama? Because that's something the world needs right now. It feels like it's following P. Diddy tactics where it can't stop and it won't stop.
Yeah. No, and it is, I tell you, it's extra tough when that's my passion and my purpose. to bring people together. And because part of defeating the drama is seeking to understand one another, have empathy, but set healthy boundaries. So I'm all about looking for where we have common ground and then building from there. And that is lacking in so many areas in this world today. But when I can bring people together, it's amazing, because too many people live in the world of assumption and absent facts for some reason. Humans just have this tendency to fill in the blanks with negative, like paranoia, fear, anger, doubt, whatever you want to call it. It's never sunshine and butterflies. And so when I can pull people together who are in conflict, or where there's been a breakdown in communication, or the relationship is fractured, a lot of times I can quickly bring people together and have them find, again, that common ground and fill in the blanks with some facts. Clarifying conversations, clarifying questions are beautiful things, people. And so often within 5-10 minutes, I hear people saying, like, oh, wow, I thought this. No, it's actually this. Oh, man, wow. And before you know it, they're working great together, relationships are healed. Now, is everything that simple? No. But a lot of times it really is. And if we could, and on social media, everyone is kind of more looking to showboat and use their big words and say, like, stuff, in that argument or their stance, and no one's interested in really hearing or looking for that common ground. And it's not serving us well as a nation and in a world right now. But when I can bring people together and look for that common ground, I am healing relationships all the time. So I wish I could do more on a bigger scale. We need more of that for sure.
Well, with that voice of yours, I'm not surprised you're a peacemaker.
Yes. And, and even when the relationships are tougher, I work in a lot of family businesses. So first generation's bringing in that second generation, or second generation to third, and, just the dysfunction that can end up within the business as well. A lot of times we're not having Thanksgiving dinner together anymore. And even in those situations, it's even more important, because, wow, when you have fractured families, that's a tongue twister, fractured families, that really tugs at my heartstrings. So I love when I can bring them together. And, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to, maneuver through built up resentments and all those kinds of things. But ultimately, communication is the key.
Oh, yeah, helping out folks in the family business, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Haven't met the mafia, have you? Let me stop.
I've been around some mafia-esque. No, I kind of don't dive that deep. I don't think so, but who knows? I just finished watching. It's funny. I just finished. My son, who was home from college, over Christmas, got us started on Sopranos. I know this is like totally off topic, but he got us started on the Sopranos, and my husband and I totally started watching like 1 or 2 episodes a night, and we just finished all the seasons. Just speaking of the mafia, I just feel I have such insight into that world right now.
Oh, this is perfect. All right, good. No one ever made the mafia reference. All right.
Yeah, hey, and I had something for it, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, the random mob rules. And the random Italian voices. For no reason. For no reason, then all the reasons. Oh, man. But yeah, though, it is definitely not a easy job to be peacemaker all the time, and then, of course, is making that the full thing that you really do, or at least the main thing that you really do, because there's probably, 20 other things you do since you're a mom, too, and that's probably the hardest job on the planet.
Yeah, but I am a new empty nester, so my time around that has shifted a bit now. But yeah, it's that is definitely still a top priority for sure. definitely.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Top priority like a top hat. Well, as with all successful people, there's probably been some trials you had to go through. So what trials you had to overcome and the lessons you learned from them?
Oh, my goodness. I have honestly been through a lot. It's funny because people will have a tendency to look at my life and others, when they're positive and helping others achieve and succeed and, all of that and think, oh, well, you've just had this easy life. And that is not the truth. I have done what I've done with my life out of tenacity and faith and prayer and definitely pull myself up from my bootstraps a few times. So I guess, I could go all the way back, but I won't. But the most recent is that really I started my coaching business, and it's been almost 15 years now, Focus Forward Coaching. I created that business and wanted to get out of an abusive marriage. So I had, at that point, been a stay-at-home mom for a few years. I had 2 very young boys, and my marriage was becoming more and more abusive, and not only was I barely functioning, then I saw that my kids were not functioning. I got calls from both of their teachers a day apart saying, what's going on with your kids, randomly and not really randomly. And I knew that I needed to make a plan to get out, and I didn't have, family support near me, and I did have an entrepreneurial spirit, and, but I was at a place where I was beaten down and walking on eggshells constantly, having physical effects from stress and the anger that was happening at my house. And but I did quickly take the time to talk to a few trusted advisors in my life and say, what do you see in me that I might not be seeing in myself? I knew that I could go back to human resources and get a job. I have my master's, and I've been a certified, senior human resource professional since the early 1990s. But I also knew that I had 2 boys who needed to heal, and I was going to need to heal. And I had that entrepreneurial spirit. I really wanted to start a business where I could drop my kids off at school and pick them up and not use a ton of latchkey and daycare and all that kind of stuff, and find flexibility and also use my passion, find my purpose. And I had for years at that point had this yearning, this deep-seated, it was just sadness within me that I knew that I wasn't doing what I was put on this earth to do. I remember watching Oprah for years, and she would have those shows on, I'd be nursing or something and sitting watching Oprah, and there were the shows that she would have on about using your life, and she would bring people on that started some small business in their garage, and then it blew up into big things, and now they are making this huge impact in the world. And I wouldn't just shed a tear when those shows were on. I would stop. We're talking the ugly cry was happening. I'm holding my breath so neighbors don't hear and my kids don't hear, because I just knew that there was some impact that I was supposed to be making too, and I didn't know what it was. I even went and saw Marianne Williamson speak.
Ooh.
She was in the area. She actually is from my area originally, and so she was back at the church where it all started for her. But there were, tons, a huge room of people, and I was way in the back, and she said, are there any questions? And I shot my hand up, and I said, how do you know, what you were put on this earth to do? I know that there's something I'm supposed to be doing, and I know that I'm not doing it, and I can't figure it out. And she talked about being closer to God and leaning into Him and all of that. But anyway, so against all of that, and I was praying, and I was like, please, God, show me. And I talked to a few trusted advisors in my life, and I had 3 people in the course of just a few days say that you should be a coach. Now, this was 15 years ago or so. I didn't know what coaching was. So I Googled it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been accidentally coaching people all my life. They called me the Ann Landers of our high school. I had Big Boogler quotes all over my bedroom wall, as a teen. And, wouldn't let people say negative things about themselves. And people were always coming to me with their relationship issues and all of that. So I realized, oh my gosh, yes, they are seeing something in me that I hadn't been seeing in myself. And so that is how my coaching business was launched. I, did some study and came up with the name, created the website, and launched my business. And then I filed for divorce. So
That's how you do
a
it.
challenge to overcome. It was, so that was definitely a big one. And and that's not the optimal time to start a business when you're, torn down and you're a new single mom and you're trying to figure all that out. But I was tenacious, and I'm telling you, when you're aligned with your purpose, the energy and tenacity that you get from that can see you through a lot of challenges.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Love featuring overcomers on the podcast, and that's really awesome to be able to get away from that evil dude who was abusive. That's not cool. It's like, come on, you're just ultra positive person, and we need folks like you out in today's society, especially in today's society. It's glad you got away from the moron and got to the coaching business. Well, actually, just basically making it legal, actually, since you've already been doing it. Not gonna...
What's that? Yeah, I was already doing that. I'm like, oh, yeah. So I read the book Proactive Coaching, and again, I was like, it just resonated with me. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is what I do, what I was put on this earth to do. And then that aligned with my human resource degrees and certification and all of that, and my passion for, healing relationships. Family business was, and nonprofits as well, but I love working with others who are passionate about the work that they're doing. And yeah, so I help them heal their relationships and rock their businesses.
Oh, yeah, rock the business, baby. That's right. Rock them like a rockabye, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that I'm network marketing as well. And the reason I do that is, one, it gives me more opportunity to help more people, because it is the environment of network marketing is all about personal development and busting fears and getting out of your comfort zone and making big things happen and achieving big goals and all of that. And then as a solopreneur for years, I'm an extrovert and I didn't have a team around me. And so network marketing gives me a team as well. And so I will never stop my coaching business. I mean, I absolutely love what I do, but network marketing for me fits nicely and helps me kind of extend my reach. And again, puts me in contact with a whole team of other people who are really into personal development and achieving and, and being tenacious.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Being tenacious, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Never give
so make some stuff happen.
Oh, man. Awesome indeed, awesome indeed. And it's really great your friend pointed it out to you. It's like, hey, why don't you be a coach? That's like a powerful thing, because a lot of folks out there have no idea what their purpose is in life, and they have very hard time trying to find it.
Yes, and I am happy to say that I have helped. I don't even know how many people find their purpose, gain that clarity. I actually was just messaging with someone just before we jumped on this interview, and he was saying, I just feel like there's more to life, but I don't know what it is. And I'm just like, let me help you. Come on, let's go. Yes, I am so, it's so, that is my passion, is helping people be who they were made to be. And so I help people gain clarity, and I have a few little questions I ask them that not always a quick answer, but I give them some strategies to use to get closer to what their passion and purpose is. So, well, it's the purpose, and then the passion tells you that you're heading in the right direction, that energy around what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, heading north. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, and so many people squelch that feeling, too. Like, I love that this guy is like, I know there's more to life, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but there is something. Like I felt for years, and a lot of people just shove that feeling down and just say, well, I'm getting my bills paid, and, I got this going, I got that going, and they just focus on kind of riding the lazy river of life instead of, spending that energy to tuck that feeling away. They're feeling that call to action, that sense that there's more to life. It's an innate human desire, but a lot of people don't pay attention.
You're right. I blame the 9 to 5. They're getting paid, so they don't pay actual attention. They just pay the bills, but not attention.
Mhm. Yep. And they tell themselves they don't have time for that, or someone else will handle that. The feeling rises up, and then they squelch it down. They got to be like, oop, 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 oop. But it's there. But sometimes it's very. But so I love that for this person that like I said, was just messaging with him this morning. It's right at the surface, and he's at that place of the discomfort of it. He's feeling it, and he wants to do something about it. Which will be figuring it out and taking a stance on. So I'm excited.
It's like, yay! I get to send another shooting star away! Hooray!
Yes, exactly. And bury him from the cloud and release him to the world. I mean, if we all did what we were put on this earth to do, it would be an amazing place.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Gotta help folks get out from under the dirt, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Before they're back in the dirt. Jeez.
Yeah.
Life short. Get on with it.
Yep. Because if you stay too long, you might turn into like one of the mud monsters, maybe.
Oh, boy.
She's like, oh, crap, no, he's going down the rabbit hole again now.
I know, there he goes again, and I just don't know what to do. I know, I'm like, I am inadequate. I am not good at playing along with your rabbit hole stuff. Ask me some questions. I'm all on it.
Yeah, so did I tell you about the time I was a tree? I'm just messing with you, no, don't worry, that's not
Oh, my
me.
God. You're just thinking about trees because I told you how a giant tree fell in my yard yesterday and the huge wind we had.
Yeah.
I'm here grateful that it landed less than a foot from my house and did not touch it. Yay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dodging all sorts of bullets, baby, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you defeat the drama, or in this case, dodge the drama.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah. So any advice for those in the coaching business when they're just getting started?
Oh, man. So in the coaching business specifically, I would say just find a way to build your confidence. So even if you know that you're designed to be a coach, I would do some work initially to get those successes under your belt and build your confidence, and then just keep going from there. Go make it happen. I mean, I say that to anyone. Go make it happen and don't let fear stop you. I often say, talk as a coach or anyone. Ultimately in business, you're selling. And when you are a coach, you are ultimately selling yourself. And it is more challenging to remove, even when, if you're selling a stick of gum and someone says, no, thank you, at times it can be, you might take it personally. But if you're selling yourself as a speaker or a coach, it's even harder not to take it personally. And so one thing I would encourage is don't be stopped by that. And if they are just saying that now, and it is not about you personally, it is something in them where they are not ready. They are not ready to focus on the personal development or achieve what they really are saying they would like to achieve. If they're telling you that they don't have the money for it, it's a priority thing. So don't devalue yourself. Get out there, make your impact, know the value that you bring. And don't take it personally if someone turns you down.
That's right. That's right. There's 6 billion people in the world. There's always someone else who needs my goods.
Next. That's right. That's right. So it's nothing about you. It's all about them, and it's either just not a fit, which is not you're bad, it's not a fit, or it's and they're just not truly ready to invest in what you could help them achieve.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Get that coaching assembly line on the go. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Just have these humans on these assembly lines. Like, hey, how's it going, buddy? Oh, you're good. All right, cool. So what do you want to do? I have no idea. All right, let's find out. And they get another human. Hey, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. But you are right, though. I mean, it's good. It can be a little bit difficult in the beginning to sell say yourself, especially when you start, it's like, oh man, you may do the negative self-talk thing. You may talk yourself out of it. It's like, why the hell am I coaching? My life isn't in order. Like, why the hell should I coach others? And then, like, any advice for those who may need to defeat that self-talk, because it can be hard for some folks that may let it linger on longer than it should.
Well, honestly, I mean, I'm going to bring up network marketing again, or anything where you're putting yourself in a situation where you're selling something. If you can hone your selling skills in some way that is a product, you know, that's not, you know, personally attached to you, it's not a service that you're providing. If there's a way to hone your sales skills away from selling you, hone them there, and then, or at the same time, and then start selling yourself. I mean, honestly, selling is selling, and it's consultative sales. Everything is consultative sales. So often people have this negative connotation of selling because they're picturing, you know, the used car salesman with the bad suit pushing you to buy the car right that second. And consultative sales is never that. You're providing something of value to someone that you personally believe in and from a place of integrity are sharing. And if you can get to a place where you're providing, you know, where you can get good at that in some random thing that you believe in, you know, you have to authentically believe in it, but then start, you know, use those same skills to sell yourself. It does make it easier. Instead of going right from I've never sold a darn thing to selling myself, because it is an extra leap.
Oh, yeah. Maybe even a bunny hop.
Oh, my gosh. See, now you're going down a rabbit hole as a bunny hop.
Yep. Might even be a hip-hop bunny.
Okay.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So another wonderful thing about the special KU on this podcast episode is that you're also a fellow podcaster. Woohoo!
Yeah, yes, I am. So fun.
That's right.
Yes, live and lead impact. So I'm sharing strategies, and then also I got to interview you. I get to interview people from all around the world about the impact that they're making. It's been awesome. Love it. Share that inspiration and strategies. See, we all need to be doing what we were put on this earth to do, and making our impact. So anything I can do to help others do that, I'm all about it.
That's right. Extra, extra. Read all about it. In this case, listen all about it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So what's probably been your biggest lesson in podcasting thus far? Because it used to be just a solo, you giving the tips, and now it's kind of like a mix and match. I think it's Mondays, it's you giving advice, then later in the week you have a guest come on.
Yeah, so it's Mondays and Thursdays. And so, yeah, now Mondays is my strategy, sharing strategies. Like today is building trust in our relationship. But and then Thursdays is God. Yeah. So, well, my lesson learned is I actually rebranded not too long ago because I was Defeat the Drama at Work, was the name of my podcast before. But I was doing so much work beyond at work, and I was making an impact from my coaching business, which was obviously kind of business focused. But also I was making an impact as a mom through some advocacy work I was doing from some health challenges that my kids had. So as I was speaking on other topics, and it hit me. One, I was feeling fragmented because I felt like sometimes I was showing up as a business coach and sometimes I was showing up as a mom. And that I just wanted to incorporate all of me. And also just that realization of people make their impact from so many different roles. And if my podcast is just like at work, I was like kind of boxing myself in and boxing the impact that I could help make for people who would listen. And so anyway, that's how Live and Lead for Impact was born. It encompassed all of me. It's defeat the drama and overcome the trauma. And again, just from any role for any impact, doesn't have to be about business. So I guess the lesson learned is, rebrand if you need to. Don't box yourself in. And for me, it was, people make their impact from everywhere, not just work.
Yeah, that's right. She was the stilettos. She took herself out the box, baby. That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
No, I do not wear stilettos. So.
Oh, you don't have to wear them. You don't have to wear them. It was just a bad metaphor.
No.
Yep. Bad metaphors all around. I'll probably say that joke for the next guest. Yes, indeed, but rebrand indeed. Just pull out that random skewer right there. Make sure it has the business logo on it, and just boom, stamp it on the internet. Make sure it's extra hot.
And then just be consistent. Yeah, be consistent. And just keep going. I mean, it builds. So it's one of those things. I forget where I saw this recently, but, instant fame after 8 years, 8 years of work. The people who are huge, have huge podcasts, we don't see all the work that went into it. We only see the end game when they got on our radar because they became big. But everybody starts somewhere, and so just be consistent and keep building.
Oh, yeah, brick by brick, keep on building. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, and speaking of brick, I'm pretty sure there have been a few mental bricks that you have added to your repertoire. Any books that you read recently or period that have really inspired you or have really sharpened up what you do today?
Yeah, man, you had asked about books that I recommend or like really get me going, and it's funny, I am such a bookaholic. It's terrible. Well, it's not terrible, it's bad. But over the years, there have been so many books that inspired me. I talked about Zig Ziglar. I actually took a See You at the Top class in high school. That was Zig Ziglar, and read that book for that. And then I was going through this morning, kind of in preparation, and I remember Leo Biscaglia, who I don't think he's probably on anyone's radar these days, probably, but his book was so impactful to me all the way back in high school, and it was called Living, Loving, and Learning. And so that book was amazing to me. More recently, The Seed of Trust by Stephen M.R. Covey. So Stephen Covey's son, who's now an adult. And, it's funny, and then my podcast today is about trust and relationships, but it just talks about how quickly we can make things happen when we have trust in our relationships. And trust, building trust means being trustworthy, but also, investing time in our relationship so we can build that trust. But if you invest that foundation and create trust and being trustworthy, which means also keeping our own word even to ourselves, as they talk about in the book, we can make a lot more happen when we're not having to maneuver through, can you please trust me, any defensiveness that the other person might have because they're not trusting or trying to, build their confidence in you. If you already have that trust, everything happens a lot quicker. I love The Power of Full Engagement because it focuses on, go full tilt, but have life balance, and then make sure that you're building in that time to recover. And that book was written by a couple of guys who worked with world-class athletes, and then they started using their same techniques in the business world. So basically world-class business leaders and business people, and just living life that way. So there are a few books that I would recommend, and I could probably go on and on. There's the 5 love languages, love that, for relationships. If you have a significant other or even, people close to you, children, other family members, knowing their love language so that if you're serving them in some way, you're serving them in a language where they feel loved and vice versa. So, a lot of books. I could go on.
I knew you were one of my new favorite people for a reason.
Yeah, it was funny when I was like, geez, I like literally. Well, and then there's Wayne Dyer, Power of Intention. Love that book. That one is one I've read over and over the course of many years. And it's funny, one key thing, and I don't know how much more time we have, but one key thing I took from that book was so helpful to me in my speaking, and I'll share. So when I first started reading that book, I was in that abusive marriage. And a few years after I was out of that marriage, I went back to read through, and I'm a highlighter. I highlight, I write, I book, earmark. I like my books. I love my books, and I mess them up, and I'd love to be able to go back and see what, I highlighted in the past and all of that. But anyway, there was a chapter in that book on relationships, and I didn't have one thing highlighted in there.
Wow.
And once I was out of that relationship, that whole chapter spoke to me. And so that was like so eye-opening to me as a speaker, because it is not my job to provide, like, to make people have the outcome that I would like them to make or to have from what I'm sharing, but it's to share the information. And maybe that aha moment won't happen right then, but it will at some point. So it's basically just my job to share it in a way that resonates with people. I love to share stories and all of that so people can really connect with any concepts that I'm sharing. But that was so telling to me. It's like, oh, the information, the wisdom was there for me, but I wasn't ready at the time. And so it didn't resonate with me, but it's okay, because Wayne had that information for me when I was ready. And it was very freeing to me to think about that. Like, no, it's not my job to push some agenda for them to get it immediately. It's just to share. And it really released me to be a lot freer. I didn't have control of it anyway, but realizing that was very freeing. It felt good.
Oh, yes, indeed. Powerful. That's powerful, though. It's like, wow, you highlighted just about every other chapter in the book except for the relationship section.
Yeah. No, it truly was that. Every
Wow.
other chapter had highlights, and there was not one highlight in that chapter. So I think I was, I'm sure I was just so miserable and whatever, but it was just like, oh, nothing here for me, nothing, nothing noteworthy here. But, we grow and we change, and then all of a sudden, something that we heard before all of a sudden resonates with us. And so, if we're someone who's sharing that information, I think that, again, you'll probably find that too with your book. It's, people aren't necessarily ready at the moment, and it's not saying anything about you. And again, we can't control when they're going to get it, and it might not be right when we're offering it up. But at least our information is out there and available when people are ready.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely right about that. You're definitely right about that. It's kind of like with me in the library, I see books I want to read every day. The list keeps growing every freaking day, and then I check out a book and end up putting it back on the shelf, and then maybe 6 months to a year later, I finally pick it up and actually start to read it. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I was actually supposed to get this now, I guess. All right, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's right. We got the bookworm, baby. That's right. Bookworms unite.
And I don't touch my books either. Like when I lend one, I was like, okay, but I do need it back because it's got my highlights in it and everything.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Kirsten Ross fan now. Definitely a Kirsten Ross fan now. I mean, I already was before the podcast, but it went from rock to like a huge boulder in the middle of a desert. Woo! Well, come.
I knew we shared a passion for books. Yeah, it's been really funny because we have been getting our house ready to sell, and so I've been having to go through my books because we've been, tearing down. And I mean, I don't know how many passes I've taken already because I have donated some books, and each one is really hard. And then I still just have so many left that I know that, no, they're going to go with me. No way.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. That's right, the books, baby. Gotta love them. Love them a lot more than crooks. Well, coming down to the question I like to ask every guest, and the magical question is if you were to wake up tomorrow and you were 25, but this time you're in the current year of 2019, and you get to keep all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
So, I know, what a question. I think that one thing would be, with my innate abilities that make me a great coach, it also is something that probably had me tolerate too much in some relationships because my innate abilities, and I'm highly intuitive with people in relationships, like I said. But when someone had issues, I could, in my coaching, I'm able to see around that, and I see the person, and I know why they're doing what they're doing and all of that. And I would go back and tell myself that the why doesn't matter. In my own personal relationships, the why doesn't matter, and to set that bar much higher and don't tolerate too much just because you see the reason, the why for their behavior, their bad behavior. The why doesn't matter. What matters is what the relationship is and what you're willing to tolerate. And, as I tell people all the time now, and I would tell this to my 25-year-old self, no fixer-uppers. I always say, people are not real estate. You can't just say, I got good bones and just needs a little facelift and a new rug,
Yes, the new rug. Oh,
no fixer-uppers. Like we tend to too often see the person for their potential instead of who they are today. And, and especially in those people that you let into your inner circle, whether it's your intimate relationships or close friendships, hold that secure and don't let people in for their potential. Let them in for who they are today. And that is, I think, the biggest lesson that I would tell 25-year-old me.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. No more people pleasing, right?
And it doesn't matter that you understand why or, they had this happen or that happen or, it's not our job to fix everybody. And, again, you don't have to shut off your heart, but you don't have to let them in to your inner circle either. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That inner circle. Gotta protect it. It's like that last ring of Saturn.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right. For those who want to keep in contact with you, what's the best way to reach you?
I would say go to defeatthedrama.com. From there, you can find information about my books. You can find all my podcasts. My other website is focusforwardcoaching.com, and that's more all of my kind of coaching and speaking and all of that. But, I would love to hear from you. There's a great way to contact me if you have some current life or work drama or challenges happening, or you're trying to make your impact and you have stuff in the way. You can even send me a message, and I'll communicate with you directly and also share the strategies I share with you on the podcast on a future episode. So through your challenge, you can help others.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, there you have it, folks. The wonderful coach on the podcast, baby. The wonderful Kirsten, baby. That's right. Going out there, follow her on the social medias and shoot her a message. Let her know it's like, hey, you're freaking awesome. Yeah. Love that voice of yours. Keep doing awesome stuff. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Well, you too. You too. Love it.
Oh, yeah. Well, any parting words for a wonderful listener?
Go out in the world and make your big impact. Don't let others stop you, and even more importantly, don't let yourself stop you. Just bust through those fears and false beliefs and know that you can't shut off that little voice in your head, but you don't have to listen to it. It's always telling you, warning, warning, danger, danger, you can't do this. Not true. False belief. Just quiet it and keep moving.
How's it going, you super special, awesome human? Since you made it to the end of this episode, it looks like you really enjoyed yourself. Since you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with at least 3 people in your network and tell them what you really liked about this episode. Heck, even shoot myself or the guest an email and let them know what you liked most about this interview, so that way they can stay inspired to keep pushing out great work.